Hey there, I'm Joe Weems. Before we get into the video, I want to remind you about ng-conf 2023 happening in Salt Lake City, Utah on June 14th and 15th. Head over to ng-conf.org to check out the speakers, check out the talks, and to get your ticket before they all sell out. We'll see you there.
Before we begin, I want to show you something that I forgot to prepare. Let's go to the dashboard for a second. Component. OK. Nope. Here. OK, everyone familiar with this snippet code, with this type of the snippet code and the component? Everyone have seen it once in a while, once in their lives, right? Simple component. OK. I have a question. This is the rendered component. What do you think? How big the entire JavaScript bundle currently on this page? Who thinks it's more than 500K? OK. Who thinks it's more than 400K? 200K? OK. Who thinks it's more than 100, 100 and above? OK. 50K and above? Who thinks it's less than a 5K total? The entire JavaScript there? Who think that is less? Yeah, right. Right, this is about the 4.5 kilobyte of JavaScript in total on this page right now. And the main reason is because there is no Angular on this page at all. Yeah. So the component that we can see here, the decorator, is just a simple decorator with some document decorate element, and it's just, you know, it's against all the best practices. It's just to make the wow effect. Okay. So today we'll speak about the metaprogramming. My name is Ostrovsky. This is my Twitter. Please follow me. I'm trying to get to the 300 followers. I left only 270, less or more. My website, danduch.me. You can scan this, and basically you have other social medias like Medium, articles, and many other things. This one. OK. About me, I'm a developer with more than 20 years in the industry, full-cycle evangelist, public speaker, open source contributor, mentor, meetup. And this is my hobbies, rock climbing, yacht sailing, and diving. Only on the real picture is only on the rocks. The whole other is from internet. It really doesn't look so nice, OK? I also was thinking that yacht sailing will be something like this. No, it's much harder. And it's not nice. I'm working at the GOH. OK, GOH is basically taking care about the publisher's website to ensure that there is no bad advertisement coming to your website. We're talking today about the TypeScript metaprogramming from 0 to 100 of a million, because it's a really big topic. So metaprogramming. Metaprogramming, based on the Wikipedia, is a programming technique in which computer programs have the, oh, never mind. Let's simplify this, OK? When we're talking about technology that we start and use, one of the most important things that we need to realize is what we should not do with this, OK? There's multiple examples out there with the wrong usage of different things, OK? Like this, like this, like this, OK? So one of the things that metaprogramming should not do is actually, it should not change the business logic of our code, OK? But what it can do is can analyze, it can be used for debugging, analytics, and data collection, many other things. It's adds flexibility, dependency injection, and runtime type assertion is a little bit more advanced. It also includes X additional libraries, but yeah, we can use it for this. Now let's talk about how do we build our application, OK? Or I have a question. do we, as a developers, are we actually building the application? Because in my opinion, we're not. We build in functions, we write in functions, we create in classes, we create in the models, components, modules, and many other things, okay? But the application itself, we're not building it. Angular probably does, with all our components, takes everything that we build, millions of files, and out of this, based on the configuration that we provide in different decorators and different places, injections and providers and stuff like this, Angular knows how to actually compile everything and create the application and serve it to the browser, okay? If we will compare to the house building, it will be the same. It's like we prepare in blocks, panels, windows, but actually we do not build the house on the field, okay? For example, there's a house that we really want to build, okay? We prepare on different parts of this house, and we send it to some guy who need actually to build it, okay? Hopefully based on all our configurations that we provide on each of our blocks, and that's what we get usually on backwards. Okay, so metaprogramming is kind of the manual for the Angular or for the other framework how to build the application, okay? What actually should be done with this component, okay, or with this service? How it should be injected? It should be in the providing, replaced one service by another one and stuff like this, okay? So in general, metaprogramming will look like this, okay? Now let's code. So basically, we came here to see the real-life examples. Okay, I have here time. So again, where is it? Dependency injection. Okay. I will show how the dependency injection works beyond the scene, okay? Let's make zoom, right? Now it looks better, great. And let's move this out. So if you're talking about the simple class, set of classes, okay, with the dependencies, for example, we have here the CRUD service, component service with the dependency that depends on CRUD service, movie service that depends on common service and CRUD service together. And we want to initialize the movie service, the initialization will look like this, right? We need to instantiate each one of the classes to get the movies class, actually, movie service to be available for us to use. But it's not cool enough, right? We don't like it for a few reasons. It's ugly, and we have here at least 2 instances of CRUD service instead of having 1. Okay, we can implement the CRUD service singleton, but if we will simplify it, I don't like it. To start with the dependency injection, basically, we need to add simple decorator that's called injectable. But it's not an Angular decorator, obviously, okay? It's a simple decorator, that's how it looks like, okay? And it's empty. And this is the interesting part, why it's empty and why it's enough for us to have empty decorator above the class, then we can inject this class as a service somewhere, okay? Let's look on the Typescript to JavaScript compiler. If we will take this code, you can see here our decorator, right? We can see it looks, font size is okay? Great. So you can see here how our code is transpiled into the JavaScript, right? All the types was removed. We have a clean, simple function that returns another function, injectable, and we have our classes, okay? But if we will uncomment this decorator, and basically we will use this function injectable as a decorator above our class, the compilation is changed, okay? We can see here 2 additional methods that was created by TypeScript compiler, okay? One of them is __ decorate, and another one actually is metadata. And the metadata is the most interesting part, because the metadata defines here, reflect metadata, defines some data on our object, it's called reflect object or reflection, class reflection, on our class that we provided, with additional metadata, you can see here, with actually CRUD service. Okay, so what it does behind that, I'll try to explain it. It saves on the movie service additional information that says, okay, this movie service depends on the CRUD service. And it saves somewhere, okay, on this class itself, on the movie service. That means that we can actually, if someone saves the data on this class, it means we can retrieve this data. Okay? And that's what we're going to do right now. So putting the decorators on each one of these classes basically will save on the class, on each one of these classes, the additional information, the additional metadata about this class, what it actually depends on. Okay? And then we can actually read this information. If we will go to the injectable, and we will just uncomment this, we can see we have these 3 console logs, each one of the service, right? We have the CRUD service, don't have any dependency. Common service depends on CRUD service, and movie service depends on common service and the CRUD service itself, okay? So now, since we know this information, we actually can create some function that will use this information, will retrieve this information. And this will be our injector, resolver, okay? What it does, it actually reads this information, design parameters. By the way, design parameters is kind of reserved word, okay? And there's several reserved words for the reflection that are used by Typescript and JavaScript. Design parameters is one of them. It represents the class constructor signature information, okay? You can see here, okay, so it's resort and was actually, with this class was saved, with this key, the metadata was saved on. So we can retrieve this information, okay? And there's simple recursion function, okay, that goes take each one of the classes before it's actually returned its instance. What it does is goes deeper, checks that if the dependent class have its own dependencies and resolve them and so on, and then basically it returns everything, the entire tree of the classes with its dependencies out there for our instance. Okay, and now we can actually see that it works. Okay, we have some data from the comments, and also we can, let's clean this, and let's in injectable remove this. We don't need this log anymore. Okay, and we can see it goes, it takes information from the dependency class, commons class, and also gets information from the movies class that depends on the CRUD service too. Okay, so it's just working. Cool, right? Cool, right? Okay. Now we can make a little bit more complicated things. For example, I want to use the stub service instead of the service that are defined in constructor of the class. Okay, so I will basically create my provider, similar to what we have, where it looks like in Angular, and I will use another resolver. Okay, and I will go to and we'll see how this resolver works. So another resolver accept not only the class I want to instantiate, but also it's accept the provider. And basically we have here the logic with the same with retrieving the dependencies, okay, from metadata, and we're just going over the providers. We're looking if they have the same, if the class that we need to instantiate as a dependency exists inside of our provider, so we just can switch it by the value of the use class. Okay, we have the new provider use class, so basically it will instantiate instead of the dependency on the constructor, it will just instantiate this class in our case, and you can see that this data comes from Yep. Let's stub. Okay, so now data comes from stub. Now, this is dependency injection. It's pretty simple. So basically, the reflection metadata or reflect data, it's key value map, okay, that's saved somewhere, I don't care where it is saved, on our class, on our target, on class that we're working on. And we can use this data for many different purposes. This is the one of them, okay? The another one, a little bit more complicated, would be it's example for the API service. I just wasn't sure that I will have enough time, but looks like I do. You're familiar with this pattern, right? With this code. Like express. Yeah, express, routing, la la la. Okay, this is how it looks. By the way, this is production code in my company now. Okay? And this is a controller. Okay, this is still controller. This is our controller. Oh, we're still here. Okay, so this is a controller. Okay, and it really doesn't look good, right? And this is production. But I really want to create separate class as a controller that will be responsible for specific path on the endpoint, and each one of the methods will be responsible for path param on this endpoint, or responsible for the specific HTTP method, get, post, update, delete, okay? So I'm using, again, decorators, okay? And for these decorators, for example, in controller, all I'm doing is I'm defining the new metadata on my class, okay? I'm providing my own key, called base path, sorry, okay? The value that comes from the decorator posts, okay? And actually, the class itself that I want to save this data on, okay? So what I just did, I have a class, my controller, and somewhere on this class I just saved key value object, key value map, okay, where the base path is the key and the value would be /posts, okay? Then I will, later on I will reuse it. I will use it, I will retrieve this data. Similar to the get and post decorators, okay, we can see here that we are saving it now because there's many methods on the class, so we will not gonna save it like a key value and value will be simple. No, it's gonna be list of values, and each value, each row will have property key. It's a name of the decorated method, okay, HTTP method, either it's get, post, update, or delete, or whatever we want, and path it will be responsible on. So for example, in this case, we will save that the get one post, this is the name of the method, will be responsible for get HTTP method, and will actually react on the path, the API endpoint path, posts / and some ID, okay? And all this data will be saved on our class, on our controller, okay? We will save it on our controller as a key value, and the key would be rows, and the value will be list of these objects for each one of the methods that we decorate. Now, saying all that, and we don't have enough time to finish everything, so on the application, this is my class of the application. During the installation of the app, there is init controller, okay, it's accept all the controllers, and the controller handler basically doing the simple thing. It's retrieving all data, it's retrieving the base path from the controller, right? That we already saved previously on the controller decorator. It's retrieved the rows, the list of these objects for each one of the methods that was decorated, and going over each one of them. And the most nice part is this one, okay? The route handler we're retrieving by property key, like we're retrieving each one of the methods. And then this line is absolutely the same if we will write it like this. Okay? Equal. So instead of having this thing, we have only one this thing. Okay, only this line. Understandable? Great. So just to summarize about reflection. Reflection and reflect metadata is the key value or map, okay, mapping of the data that can be saved on our class, on our target. And this data can be retrieved later on by our code, and we can use it to build actually the application. Okay? And not to build only the blocks of the application. That's it. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. Last thing I want to say, find me please on the Medium, because I will have a series of 4 articles about the metaprogramming with deeper dive in it, with the examples, code snippets, and working example of the applications, how all this works. It will be released, I believe, on my fly back home. That's it. Thank you very much and have a great day.